you back into your balance. That doesn't mean. I think people confuse that. They be like, "Oh, feminine," and you want a man to be. No, that's not what we talk about. Not at all. Facts.
All right, you guys. We got C. Will Holler. Y'all can follow C. Will Holler on Instagram. CWILLHOLLA. All right. Go ahead, man.
No, listen, man. I've been chiming in, listening to the participants. What's up, Joni? I hope she's still on. Absolutely love her. Loved her energy. Loved the last lady. Thought she was real good. I think a lot of misunderstandings when it comes to male-female relationships starts with people, not knowing where they are. Shay just talked about lack of balance, which usually has more to do with lack of character. But I think we have to understand the complementary parts that people should bring to the table when we're talking about bringing stuff to the table, right? It's like, I hear a lot of times from guys and girls or ladies talking about what they're looking for and not what they're offering.
Yeah.
Right? I work in sales, so I never lead with an ask. I always lead with an offer.
Yeah.
Right? So I go in there and I tell someone what I'm going to do for them. It automatically disarms them. It changes the environment because, that can be a very adversarial type of situation, right? Of course, I'm coming in and I'm coming to sell you something. So people are like, oh, he's coming to sell me something. Well, yeah, that's my job. But I could be selling you something that's going to improve your performance, help you out, help you make money. So it doesn't have to be adversarial. I could be an advocate, and that's how I position myself because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to sell you something, no snake oil or nothing like that. And I think we have to kind of, reimagine relationships. Unfortunately, most of us didn't have that growing up, so you missed that out. You missed out on that first, 20 years of learning what that looks like, learning how to treat a woman, or learning, if you're female, learning how to treat a man. Because the thing is, and I put in the comments, a woman's life is love, a man's love is life. And you have to understand it. So as men...
Hold on, say that again for him. Say that again for him.
Oh, I said a woman's life is love, and a man's love is life, right? And I'll explain that. So if you're a man, your love is life. Y'all talk about building, conquering, developing, cultivating. You talked about men working with their hands back in the day. Your grandpa did it, my grandpa did it. They work with their hands, they use their bodies to produce. We live in a technological society now, so we got to use our minds. You guys are doing it right now. I'm chiming in and helping out. We're discussing things, where two or three are gathered together. The energy's there.
Yeah.
And when we're discussing with women, we got to give them room to nurture us. I know young, when a girl wanted to love on me, I'd be like, man, what you doing? Because I wasn't used to that. I wasn't raised like that. I didn't get that affection, you know what I'm saying, growing up. It was like, you got food, you got clothes, you got shelter, you good, we love you. You probably heard it on your birthday and Christmas. That was about it. So when I heard that, I thought somebody was trying to sell me something. So it took a lot of emotional intelligence training to understand that I have to create space for that feminine energy in my life, because that was a part of my life that needed to be nurtured. So, and then on the flip side with women, unfortunately, they don't have a lot of strong male role models in their lives. So when a man, and I'll say this, when a real man shows up, sometimes they don't know how to handle it because they're so accustomed to being in that masculine energy. They're so accustomed to building, providing, and protecting that they don't want to, be put out, right? So they don't want to stop doing that because they don't trust the guy yet, for whatever reason. And then again, like I said, with guys, we don't trust them because we haven't learned how to accept love. We haven't learned how to accept nurturing. So what we have to do, and you say this all the time, bro, about don't date, obviously don't engage in sexual activity, but have a standard, set an expectation for yourself. Talk about what you're bringing to the table. it's okay for both sides, because now you're setting that expectation not only for yourself but for the other person. Like, look, y'all played sports. There was some expectations when you got on the court or on the field or whatever, and you had to meet those expectations, if not exceed those expectations. That's how work is. That's how every other facet of life is. You have an expectation that you have to meet and deliver and hopefully overachieve and succeed. It's like, but when we come to relationships, we put all of the expectation on the other person, all of the demands on the other person. Like, you gotta meet my checklist. No, fool. You gotta meet their checklist. Yes, they have to meet yours, but you gotta meet theirs too. And I think what I'm going to practice is creating that space for the other person through expectation, through boundary setting as well. And also talk about, okay, here are my list of asset attributes and things I'm going to bring to the table with expectation, but also just relax and have fun. I think we make this stuff really, really serious too. But I'm open to any questions that either of you may have for me.
You said something in the very beginning that I thought was right, and I kind of wanted to elaborate on that when you were saying people. We have a lot of expectations, but we don't have expectations for ourselves. In other words, you have people that's, well, I want somebody that's highly ambitious, motivated, but yet you don't do any of that yourself. And I think what it comes down to is that people have to stop. They have to stop aiming for certain things and instead focus on the process of what it takes to get to those. So if I want a wife. Okay. So now I'm not spending no time on me. I'm going out and pursuing a wife. Every weekend I'm out trying to find a wife. And at the same time, I'm getting these women that are low value women right now.
We're gonna call them low vibration. Low vibrational women. Yeah. Low value. Low vibration.
You're attracted to that low vibration because that's the vibration that you're on. So
okay. Thank you.
Cultivating that, and all you're getting that in return. And you're saying there's no good women out here, but you haven't raised yourself to the vibration of getting those good.
Yes, sir. So let me touch on that. And Blanche knows I say this all the time. Everywhere you go, you take you with you, right?
Exactly.
So if there are no good people everywhere you go, who the common denominator here? Ooh, Jesus. Talk about it, right? So God, the universe, and the game will not be mocked. You know what I'm saying? Whatever seeds the man soweth, them shall he also reap. So if you're bringing low vibrational activity to the game board, to the procession, to the meeting, to the function, to the party, in your home, that's what's gonna meet you at the situation, right? So I hear a lot of women, and unfortunately I hear a lot of young women say that, like, no good guys. So it's like horrible to hear. Because I know a lot of great guys, and I know a lot of great young guys. And I've heard some young men say this too. But again, it goes back to what you're saying. Like, if you keep meeting low vibrational people, you have to look at yourself first. You should always start with, I'm going to quote the late, great Michael Jackson, right? You got to start with the man in the mirror, because you got to change your ways, right? You got to change your frequency. You got to change your vibration, and the universe will match that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The universe is not going to give you something that you didn't ask for. That's on a mental level, that's on a spiritual level, that's on a vibrational level, or that's on a physical level. I remember Blanchard telling a story about a meeting he was attending, and a guy complaining about he didn't have any friends. And my question was, what did he look like? And it sounds like a very stupid, superficial question, but I'm really talking about what did he look like? Because how a person dresses is how they view and see themselves.
Oh, he looked crazy.
Oh, I know he did.
He looked crazy. He had on the sandals with the socks, with the khakis. So he had a polo shirt, khakis, sandals with socks. He looked crazy, yeah. And the phone with the clip on the hip. and the clip hit phone.
And this was in the 2000s.
2000s, yeah. So he was there. He looked crazy.
So enough said. But he wondering why he ain't got no friends.
Yeah.
Do you think he intentionally put that outfit on?
Intent, yeah.
Okay. Do you think he looked at himself in the mirror before he left home?
I
don't
think
he did that.
I don't think he has any. I don't think he ever had a mirror. I mean, yeah.
Okay. What I'm going to say is going to be very simple and very basic, but it's going to be very profound at the same time. What he put on was comfort. Those are the clothes that he's accustomed to wearing. And unfortunately, that trauma is the same way. We put on things that are comfortable.
Yeah.
And trauma is comfortable for a lot of us, specifically people coming from our backgrounds, our culture, and our ethnicities. We're used to alcoholism, drug abuse, addiction, and all kind of this stuff that's not high frequency or high value. So it's very hard for us to set a standard for ourselves. And if we can't set a standard for ourselves, it's going to be even harder for us to set a standard for someone else. Now, what we do is we project what we want onto other people, right? We demand that this person meet a standard that we don't even meet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's absolutely absurd because again, everywhere you go, you take you with you. And I remember we were in New Orleans, and Lord have mercy, I won't say no names, but we were drunk. We were entertaining, getting young women. We was out there, Thundercats in the streets. And, I had a little 1 or 2 extra hand grenades, and I ain't but 5'7", so, I was real nice. 1.5 do me in. And I was walking down the street with a young lady. I'm going with this. And I was feeling nice, so, we was about to take her back to the Honeycomb Hideout. And then she said something, and in the moment that she said something, my God self kicked in and was like, "Whoa, hit the emergency brake, bro. You about to make a mistake." And all she said, you laughing too, bro, but you had to be there. She literally just said, "Why don't you?" Because I had my phone in my hand. She said, "Why don't you put your phone in your pocket so you can hold my hand?" And I looked at her. I said, "On Bourbon Street?" I ain't got no business with you. I know I ain't got no business with you. You finna parade me up and down Bourbon Street and ruin my weekend. It's gonna be a walk of shame. But I'm so glad I came to because that's in that moment. It's like I did not value myself. Right? It wasn't about her. It was about me because she was gonna win. The way I was going on that octane too. Yeah, she was gonna win. But I was not going to feel good about that situation, and unfortunately, I would have probably ruined that young lady's life because I would have treated her like trash afterwards. You feel me? Because I didn't have any respect or value for her in that moment, or good intentions. She probably would have liked me at first. But again, like I said, as I got older, and I want to touch on that too. A lot of this stuff has to be about timing, and we have to respect timing. I heard Joni say that, Jackson Heights say that about her husband when she said, "Oh, even though we dated in college, we should have got together then." No, you shouldn't, because she said something that is very important. She wasn't ready.
Yeah.
So that's like you going in there and you eat some half-cooked food. Half-cooked food can hurt you, kill you sometimes. Undercooked food can kill you. And sometimes we're not cooked. We're not fully baked. We're not fully done. Fries ain't ready yet. You feel me? So what we got to do with ourselves, right? You talk around it, bro, but I'm going to be real with you. You hit it, but you talk around it. You really, really, really have to focus on yourself. Not in a selfish way. But Shay talked about it. Self-preservation is the law of the land, right? Self-preservation. Take care of yourself. Say your prayers. Take your vitamins. Believe in the power of the Blanchard and Shay. Y'all doing great work out here. I really love and appreciate y'all for doing what y'all do. But y'all brothers are building a community out here. But you also take care of yourselves because you're doing the work. You feel me? Y'all doing the work. And what you're doing right now tonight, is iron sharpening iron. So you're establishing another very, very key word, accountability. Right? He just said every Sunday night. So guess what? Throughout the week, you thinking of things to prepare for Sunday night because you got to be ready for Sunday night. It's the same thing that with relationships. You got to be doing things to prepare for that woman. And now, iron sharpens iron. You can't be iron and she be cotton, or she be iron. You feel me? She be iron and you be sheepskin. Like no, bro. Like you got iron has to sharpen iron, so that way when y'all meet each other, y'all come together. And y'all form that beautiful sword. I'm just ranting right now, but
nah, you sound. Listen, I'm reading the comments, man. Listen, man. I wish I had a collection plate because they would have filled it up.
Well, yeah, you do got a collection plate. Buy my boy back.
I ain't even turn them on this one. They ain't even turned on this one. But yeah. I mean, everything you saying is, I mean, spot on, and you're right though. You know, before we get into a relationship, it starts with us first. You got to invest in yourself first before you can go out to get on the market. You should be dealing with yourself first.
Because a lot of us have to recover from the damage that was done early in life, man. And I wish somebody would have told me that earlier. You feel me? I wish I had valued myself earlier. I wish I would have preserved myself earlier.
Yeah.
I wish there were a lot of things that, you know, I wish I had a second. You had me cracking up. You talking about messed over 3 good wives. But yeah, man. Let me ask you guys a question.
Hold on, I had a question for you, Chris. I had one question. So, when you ask a woman, like, what is she looking for in a man? Like, what do you want to hear her say? I think it's good for women to hear what men actually would like to hear women say.
Man, that's honestly a tough question because it's not more so what I want to hear her say, it's how she says what she says. You feel me? Like, because I base everything I do in character and intent. And I know we talk about that. You and I talk about character over characteristics. So when a woman gives me that answer, I'm gonna look how she responds to the question. Right? I'm gonna peep that. I'm gonna peep body language and just that energy on how prepared she is for that question. Because again, I don't think a lot of ladies get that question, honestly. I was surprised that the young ladies said that. I'm like, dudes even talk, because dudes like jump out the car talking about, you know, throwing BMW keys and how much money they make and all that stuff. So I'm like, how does he ever have time to ask you what you bring to the table, what you're looking for in a man? So, but you know what? You know what is always very impressive about a young lady? Ease of communication and conversation. If she can ease into a conversation, difficult question, it's really just about that. Like stating her true intentions on what she wants. I mean, I think it was you, Shay, who said, no, it was definitely Joni who said that about, you know, the list that she had for her husband. But stating those true intentions on what she wants out of life, expectations, I said that earlier, right? Like, don't browbeat the man about your list. Keep that to yourself. I mean, Joni and her husband were dating. Well, at the time they were dating. So yeah, feel free to whip it out, boom, because you at that point. But when you first meet somebody, leave that list shit alone. Stop. Talk to the man like y'all buddies. Not your homegirl, women. Don't be disrespectful. Don't talk to him like he's a female. Talk to him like he's your buddy. Like you're trying to get to know him, but not in a direct way. Keep it friendly, keep it casual, keep it light, but keep it respectful. And okay, let me go back to a woman's life is love and a man's love is like a huge component of the communication factor that a lot of women overlook and misunderstand is respect. Men value respect.
But than anything, yeah, more than anything.
That's number one.
Talk about it.
That's number one.
Men value respect over love. I would rather you respect me than love me.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's how even amongst us, we value respect over everything. I'd rather you respect me and not because here's the thing, man, I don't need you to love me. I don't need you to take care of me. I don't need you to look. I don't need that. I'm gonna do that on my own. I just get out of my way, and then if we can get together and build something, then cool. But at the same time, I need you to respect my space, my family, my wife, my area. I'm gonna respect you. That's why we value that more than anything. people don't understand. Love is secondary. Respect is most important. That's going to get you to the love.
Hey man, I'm gonna quote the great prophet Tina Turner. What's love got to do with it? Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? For the second-hand emotion, right? But yeah, men value respect. So it's very key. Again, not affection, not attention in that way, but I think growing up with my grandparents and seeing the reverence that my grandmother had for my grandfather taught me that's what I wanted. She didn't fear him, she respected him. And there's a huge difference between that. She wasn't afraid when he came home, but shit was done when he was home. Because he had to go out here amongst the thorns and thistles and get it done. And guess what? That was his expectation. And it's like they were like robots. I never seen them sit down and plan stuff out. He got his ass up and out of the house at a certain time every day. Stuff was done at a certain time when he came home. But I never remember her having to ask for anything. What she expected was done, and what he expected was done.
Yeah.
And to me, that showed that not only did they respect each other, but they respected the union and the community that the both of them had built. So that's what I mean by a woman's life is love and a man's love is life. Like I said, men have to give women a target to love and to respect and to, nurture. But women also have to create that environment because women don't even know, man, that's fuel to a man. A man here, oh baby, you did that. Okay, come on, you know how it is, bro. You know how it is when we first started working out. It took one girl to grab me up by the arm and was like, "You been working out?" Yeah, I've been in the gym. Yeah, I've been in the gym. But guess what? You couldn't keep me out that gym after that. You feel me? And that's how that goes. Because she was plugging into me because that was the nutrient to life that I needed, and I was giving her that attention and that affection that she needed. And that's what we got to find, that symbiotic relationship.
Man, yeah, that's right on.
Hey, Chris, we got some other people in the queue, man.
Man.
But just come back. Please come back next Sunday.
Let me know, man. Let me know. I'll give y'all 5 minutes any day, bro.
So thank you, man. I appreciate it. All right, thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
All right. I got somebody else. I got somebody else in the queue. I clicked them on. I don't know if they're going to come on yet, but well, I see a comment on here where someone said, oh, here we go. How you doing?
Hello, how are you?
How you doing?
Good. So I just kind of wanted to touch on what the lady was saying before the gentleman came on. He was so good. I really love listening to men talk because you guys are just very straightforward and straight to the point, and women kind of just go around things. So I thought it was excellent what he was talking about, what he was saying, and how he really touched on respect. Respect is huge, and we do miss that as women. And especially in the society that we currently live in, we're taught that we're the table, right? So we don't have to respect anything. You guys are to bring it to the table, and you're lucky that you have a table in the first place, right? And that's so backwards. That's not true whatsoever. Because what is it to be the table if you don't even know how to set the table yourself?
Yeah.
Right? If you can't even provide for the table, what does it mean for you to be the table in the first place? It doesn't mean anything. And so we have rules in the first place so backwards and messed up and jacked up these days. You have Mr. Mom now, and then you have women wanting to be men now. We have everything backwards in society. So when I was listening to him talk, I was like, man, he's so right. This is good. What you guys have to say to people and what you guys are telling people is right. I would say keep going. Don't stop. Keep speaking the truth because we need to hear it. We need to hear it. We're being told lies these days, and it's just not true. When she was talking about toxic masculinity. I don't believe there's a such thing as toxic masculinity. That's my personal belief.
Yeah.
I just don't see it like that. Right? I believe that men were built different from women. And like you guys were saying, it's true that women come to bring a balance to men. So there's a difference. It's not that men need to tap into being feminine. Like, what is that in the first place? Like, no, they don't need to tap into being feminine. They weren't built that way. God did not design them to be in touch with their emotions and all these other things. Why? Because men had to go out and work with their hands. They had to kill. Right? You can't be emotional when you're going out to murder somebody. Like, you can't do that when you're going out to protect your family. Like, you can't be like, you know what, by the way, let me think. No, you got to slay that person. And that's it. That's what it has to be. So I think it's really good, like I said before. And I just wanted to, say also that men are not cheaters. Like, we have this mentality, and I hear some people and I see people's comments like, oh, men are out there trying to have their cake and they need to eat it too and all this. And that's not always true. We have this bad image on what a real man looks like. I'm not saying that men are perfect. That's not what I'm trying to say. But this whole mentality that men are dogs and men are trying to be out there and they're looking at other women, that is a lie. And we have believed a lie about men for so long. And I think that's why we're able to accept the rest of the lies that are coming with it that culture's trying to feed us now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, with the whole, even when I was growing up, I used to hear women say that all men cheat. So I know growing up, most women were telling their daughters and telling other women that the man's going to cheat. So almost preparing them for the man cheating. I don't believe that all men cheat. I believe that people will cheat if they want to cheat, men or women. It just depends on the person. I just think that saying that all men cheats was a way to negate accountability and responsibility on the woman's part. So it was almost to say that since he's going to do this, I'm gonna do this. It may not be, and it may not be her cheating, but it was just a way to not give 100% in a relationship, in my opinion. From what I've seen, most men don't even have the options to get multiple women. You take the average guy, he may get 1 to 3 women in his whole life. We talk about a global, around the world, the average man, most of them just get 1 to 2. If he's lucky, if he gets 3. All this multiple women stuff is not really a real thing because most guys don't get it like that. Most guys deal with 1 or 2 women in their life. That's it. High school, think about a high school sweetheart, and then out of high school, that woman, that's it.
Yeah.
So this whole notion of men running around, most men don't even have the confidence to get multiple women. You got to think, like, it's not easy go to a woman, we call get a shot down, go to a woman, she shoot you down, go to the next woman, she shoot. By the time you get to the third woman, you're done. You get to the third woman, your ego is shot, your self-esteem is shot. I used to leave the club and go home like, what's wrong with me, man? I lost all my sauce. What's good? Like I used to go home and look at myself like, man, what is going on? And then guess what? I would go to other nights I would go and I couldn't miss. You know what I'm saying? It's like a roller coaster ride with a man's ego. But most men, in my true honest opinion, most men really want a good woman. They do. Like it's almost like you want to be there for that woman. Like when you love a woman, you actually want to, you want to impress her. Like you want to show her, like you want to show her all these things. I used to do all kinds of stuff to impress these women. I know, trust me. When I used to be in love, because I fall in love. I used to, man, I done did some stuff, man. I'm talking about. I'm a true romantic, though. I am. I'm really a true romantic. So, but what I'm saying is, when I've loved a girl, I never really wanted to go out there and be in the streets. Honestly, I didn't. I didn't have a desire to. Like everything was devoted to her. So I don't know. All men don't cheat, though.
No, I think that's true, and then that's good for women to hear that. And also, as well, it's also what are you dealing with? right? So like you guys were touching on before, and it's true, and I was thinking about this earlier, and I'm not trying to put my sister out there, but like I tell her all the time, I said, you have to remember who you're dealing with. If you're dealing with Ray Ray and Pookie from the block, those are the results that you're gonna get. You guys have to stop putting yourself in positions with the ratchets and then expecting a different result. And that's not the way that it works. And this is our fault. Yes, we can say that we don't value ourselves and all these other things, but at the end of the day, if we keep doing it, that is our fault. We don't have the standard set for us. We don't value who we are in the first place. So we go lay up with, you know, Pookie, and then we have a baby with him, and we expect him to come home to us and be honest and to be loving and faithful. And he wasn't honest, loving, and faithful to the first 5 of his baby motherhood. Like, come on. Like, what are we talking about here? So this whole thing of when women get on here, and it kind of frustrates me to hear so many women take up this notion that all these men are out here cheating. No, I would challenge you to ask yourself, what type of men are you dealing with? That's one. And then, are you the type of woman that is wife material? What are you bringing to the table? And these are things that we don't think about, because we are told that you being a woman is enough. You can just be a woman and you can be fly and you're good. You know, he needs to bring home the paycheck, you can spend it, and you're good to go. And that's not true. And that's why a lot of us, we can't keep men now. You won't have a good man, a man of value, a man that wants to stick around, because you're always degrading him, you're disrespecting him, and you don't bring anything to the table for him. You really don't.
It's interesting that like people say these things like all men, but the only real facts in this matter is that people of low integrity cheat.
Right.
Yeah.
But to find that anywhere. And I would say that you have to be mindful of that when you're dealing with people. What is their integrity like in all aspects of their life? You know what I mean? Like you can see things when you're dealing with people. How honest are you about anything? You know what I mean? About what you do. How honest are you to take your work? How honest are you about how you take care of your hygiene? I mean, this is like it all goes back to your integrity. Like when we talk about cheating, I be tripping, like when you're dealing with certain type of people, especially certain type of males, and they're in certain environments like the street. When you're in the street with these dudes, it's always about loyalty. And then you're realizing that this guy has had kids with this woman and promised this woman the world, and yet he cheats on her every single day, yet he wants me to believe that he's going to be loyal to me. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make sense. He's proven it every single day when he cheats on this woman that he made a commitment to, that he has no problem doing me in. You know what I mean? So, like, we have to be able to see these things. Like, if you don't have integrity in this part of your life, why would I think that you're going to have it over here? If you're scandalous towards every single person you deal with, but you're not going to be like that towards me, that's kind of the mentality. Like, we really got to be honest about some of these things. Like you said, you know that how this guy is, and you decide to still deal with him, and then get mad when he's trash. You knew he was trash when you met him.
Yeah.
And it goes back to cultivating self. If you cultivate self and you focus on that, it's going to come to you. Different people are going to come to you, like they say. You know, if you hang around 4 broke people, you're going to be around 5 in a minute. Same thing with being around rich people, because people have certain mindsets. They have certain mindsets. You start being around people that have no integrity, no values, and stuff like that. You can see it from the very beginning. They may not be all criminals, and the only thing that keeps them from being criminals is they just ain't got the heart to do it. But if they can get away with some scams, doing some scams, recognize that you have to make the move. You have to get off of that. You have to have respect for yourself enough to say, I'm going to move up off that person right there. You know what I'm saying?
And even like what you mentioned about dealing with self, I remember cheating, and as I look back, I knew why I was cheating, because I didn't want to get hurt. So I was trying to make it to where I wasn't giving somebody my complete heart to you know what I'm saying, to step on or crush. So I almost kind of always tried to keep a foot, you know, outside the door. But really, it's all based in fear, though, because part of being a man is, you know, being courageous, you know, part of love is having courage too, because it's a risk. Because you can love somebody that doesn't love you back. So my cheating really stemmed from not wanting to fully invest to avoid getting hurt. And I think a lot of men might do that. Some men, it might be ego. Some men, it might be a poor habit. But I know for me, looking back, I just didn't really want to get hurt because I felt like if I invest all this stuff into this woman and it doesn't work, I'm going to be upset. But again, that's a part of maturity though, because, you know, part of that process is me picking the right woman too. So I shouldn't have to pick a woman where it's just a gamble for me if she's gonna leave me or not. No, I should be able to assess the right woman when I pick her in the beginning. So I think the notion that all men cheat is to me still a cop out though, because all men don't cheat. And I know guys that don't, I know guys that put up with stuff I would never put up with and still are faithful. I know some guys getting tortured at home by their wife and they still faithful. So I'm just like, I would have been left. I would have just left. But anyway, but my point is, all men don't cheat, and I just think that it's not dealing with the person in the mirror. So I don't even meet a woman thinking that she's going to do me wrong. If I'm talking to a woman, I don't even feel like she's even that type of woman. I only put that in my mind. And if she is the type of woman, that's on her. But I'm not going to put that in my mind and say that's her in the first place. You know what I mean? So I kind of just, as I've gotten mature, I just say, you know what? I got to give 110. I got to give 100% if I want 100%. And it's just that simple. With any relationship, I got to give what I'm asking to receive. So if I want her to be the best woman on the planet, I got to be the best man for her on the planet.
That's true. It's all about what you give out as well. And I think you hit a valuable point there with people in general is what you're willing to put up with and what you're willing to accept, right? Like we shouldn't be willing to accept somebody in the first place that we have doubts with. We shouldn't be going into relationships in the first place thinking that this man or this woman is going to do me wrong. Because where are you at anyways? You're probably not even healed. And you need to be healed first before you go into something. So if you're thinking, oh yeah, he has his phone turned upside down, he must be cheating, you're probably not ready for the relationship.
Yeah.
You probably need to take a step back and say, you know what, there's some healing that needs to go inside of my life first. And then I can proceed with this relationship or another individual.
You got to deal with your insecurities because that's all that is.
Yeah.
Tricks get tricked. So if you walk into a situation thinking trick, that's probably because it's something that you ain't too secure with your own self. You know what I mean? Like you already knowing, oh, he's gonna look at me like I'm he or she, whatever, they're gonna look at me like I'm a mark, and I can just get over on me because I know deep down inside that's what I am. That's more like you have. That's why I said it starts with self first. Like you have to cultivate self. Get yourself right. Everything's gonna come. You know, that I always like people be like, I can't find nobody because that's because you're trying to look for somebody.
Yeah.
The person you're looking for is within yourself. You should be trying to cultivate yourself and figure out what those insecurities stem from, overcome them, move on, and have confidence. And you can talk to anybody because if you reject me, it's cool. I still got me. I take me everywhere, and I'm all right. So that's the most important thing in my mind. I like what the brother had said earlier when he said about selling, and he talked about you bringing something to the table, what you offer. And it reminds me of there's a quote by Benjamin Franklin that he said that you always appeal to interest, not reason. And I'm always trying to appeal to what's going to interest you. So when I'm coming in, I'm trying to sell myself. I'm showing you that this is what you can have. You know what I mean? You can have this, and I'm selling it to you. This is what I offer and bring to the table. So this is my value, and it's like you have to be able to show that to people. That's why I'm talking about the analogy before about war and sports and all that type of stuff. You study the people. You study what you're trying to accomplish, and you know what people are looking for. So you have to bring interest to the table. What interests you? So I think that's what it's all about. Start with self first and foremost.
So your name is Bree?
That's my Instagram name.
So it's Bree. I just want folks to follow you. It's BRI. What else?
Cruz. CRUISE. Cruz.
All right, you guys. That's Bree Cruz. Anything else you want to say?
Nope. That's all. Good night.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, we got one more person in the queue.
Okay, let's get one more, and then
Oh yeah, you just be the last one.
yeah. Be here next Sunday, so
Yeah, we'll be here next Sunday, man.
everybody get a chance. You know what I'm saying, throughout the week, because everybody's always got something they want to say. They always, I want to get on, I want to do, I'm saying. So now we have a whole week. Get it together, get your thoughts together, and come on, get correct.
Yeah. I had Lil Russell on there. You want to come back? Because the person I had on there was Latin Diva JT. I'm trying to get her back on. But you can go, Russell, if you want to.
Yeah. This be the last one.
Yeah.
And we'll be back on next week.
Yeah. This was good though.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. That's how we gotta move, man. We gotta start cultivating ourselves, man. All the way around, and we'll start attracting better energy.
Hold up, Bambi. We're talking about relationships or bringing something to the table.
Yeah.
Versus being the table.
How you guys doing?
Oh, what's up, Russell? What's good, man?
Doing good, man. I'm so glad just to be on you guys live, man.
Oh man, thank you.
I'm extremely grateful.
Thank you.
So I wanted to put my 2 cents in. Like I agree with both of you guys, you know, about the man and the woman and what's going on. And to piggyback on what you said, Blanche, about how, when you cheated before and it was more about, not wanting to get hurt and stuff, I can totally relate to that because, I was I did the same thing, back when I was younger. So, yeah.
You young now though. How young were you?
Man, I was shoot. I was like 20 years old. I'm 23 now. So,
okay.
Yeah.
You're still young.
You're still young.
Yeah. But I'm at my job and I have to go. It's an emergency.
Okay. All right.
Thank you guys for having me on.
Oh no problem, man. No problem.
All right.
Hey, we got people off in the corner.
He about to get in trouble, man.
You guys had a real good chance to get on tonight. I know it's gonna be popping as we keep going. The things we touching on, a lot of people ain't touching on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Becoming perspective that's a little different because we see the bigger picture. It ain't just about making clickbait and getting likes and views and whatnot. It's about having productive conversations that we can take into the world and actually see it improve our lives, man. That's what it's all about. And so, trying to cut nobody down and make somebody look stupid. We trying to just build people up and give them enough games so they can go out there and actually be successful in what they're trying to do. Because we need better, strong families. If we don't have strong families, it's over, man. It really is.
Man, you said it's over, man. Oh my goodness, man. I just know, just myself growing up, like I said earlier, I just know how important a strong family unit is. Like, it's kind of like when I used to go to my grandparents' house, it just felt different because like you just had your grandparents, like grandfather, grandmother. The whole house just seemed different. It was like more calm, more peaceful. It was like always something cooking. It just felt different, And I don't know. To me, it just builds so much self-esteem in the children, man. When it's just a great family structure at home, it just does. I mean, I can't even talk about it enough, even for young girls.
Oh,
like,
yeah, definitely more so for them.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
What kind of man they want to have children with. I mean, that's a big thing. Also, another thing, we don't have a name for this, so we were thinking like maybe we were gonna just get some suggestions. If you guys had some suggestions, let us know.
Damn, what the fuck?